folks that are here. And how are you today, Vivian?
I am doing fantastic. I have stepped into the Thunderbolt colors in yellow, and I'm feeling electrified. How are you?
I'm feeling fantastic. Let's get to these amazing and fine folks.
We have Dr. Joshua Siegel in from Long Island in the house.
Hello.
He's the owner of Cafe of Life Chiropractic. Because he was a poor student, teachers told him he'd never take a class in science. Well, this just fueled his mission to prove that science is not just what we learn, but a deeper connection to ourselves and God. His motto is the power that made the body heals the body. And as a wellness chiropractor, he helps families find joy and spirituality to achieve success in their health and in turn transform their lives. So welcome, Joshua Siegel.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, everybody.
Josh, long time no see, man. How are you?
I'm doing awesome, brother. Thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah, you guys did a great job this weekend. It was fun encountering you fine folks.
Yes.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys very much. So awesome. How about a fun fact?
Fun fact is, one, I'm a twin, as you learned this weekend. And another fun fact, I lost 140 pounds so far in my wellness and weight loss journey.
Woo!
Yep.
Nice.
Wow.
Congrats.
Yeah.
That's an amazing
It's
story.
like losing a me right now. You just lost.
Hey, are we like weighing in, Vivian? What are you weighing these days, Vivian? I'm just kidding. So amazing. So Josh, thanks for being here, brother. And so the mission that you're up to in the world, in addition to helping people, obviously with their chiropractic needs, you're into the space of health optimization, weight loss, correct?
Yes. Teaching people how to live their best life from the inside out.
Oh, awesome. Well, Josh, thanks for being here today. Vivian, we got more.
We got from Westville, New Jersey, Patrick Rude. Where are you, baby? There you go. Give me a little high five or something. Give me something to work with. There we go. AKA known as not just an accounting expert, but the tax wizard. Patrick is founder and CEO at Rude Financial Services with a focus on tax planning and fractional CFO. He loves taking advantage of technologies, especially when it involves being able to service outside of Jersey to include Pennsylvania, Florida, and Michigan. Armed with a passion to help others, he teamed up with 60 other firms across the country to be at the forefront of the pandemic relief and legislation for entrepreneurs. He's also a two-time international best-selling author and Guinness Book of World Record holder. And I'm curious to know in what, Patrick. So welcome, Patrick.
Patrick, what's up, brother? Welcome.
What's going on, Sean? Thank you.
How are you doing?
Doing all right. Doing all right.
So what is your Guinness Book of World Recordness in?
So the most authors signing a book simultaneously.
Get out of here. How many was that?
126.
Very nice. Congratulations on that.
Goodness.
So extraordinary. Did I ever tell you my attempted Guinness Book breaking feat, Vivian?
No, tell me.
Do tell.
Yes. So the youngest person to ever ski on all 7 continents in or around 2010 was 13 years old. So I'm like, wow, like that's fun. I could get my son into the Guinness Book of World Records. We'll ski on all 7 continents. So we start planning this entire thing. We go to like Morocco and Switzerland. That's gonna be trip 1. Then we're gonna do, Antarctica and South America, another trip. And, obviously Europe, I guess Asia and Africa in the final. So I'm sorry, Asia and Australia, excuse me, in the final. So we're getting ready to go. It's like all good. And we're literally planning the trip. And I was like laying out the next 3 years. I wanted to make sure we would comfortably come in. So I said to my son, Tyler, I'm like, hey, like just Google and check it out. Like what was the exact age? He Googles it. And like that week, somebody had broken the record for cancer. A child was like 10 and a half. And like, it was like the same age as my son already. So out the window, but we still went skiing in Switzerland. We said, forget riding up on like mules in Morocco to go skiing. We'll just hang out in Zermatt. So that was my attempted failed Guinness Bookness, Patrick. Congratulations on yours there, brother.
Did you ever go to Morocco and do anything fun sportsy there?
We did not.
You should see Vivian's face as she's asking this question. She's asking this question with like complete disdain.
No, we were on our way, and then I'm like, okay, we could skip skiing in Africa. So I have not yet skied in Africa. So, but thank you, Vivian. Oh, we got some awesome judges today.
We have as judge. Yes, we do. We have Mikomi, or Miko, as she would like to be called, Miko Chen. She's an executive at esports. Went from Overwatch team captain for Pride Start Gaming to brand ambassador and director of marketing at esports. She recently founded Hope Entertainment, a new esports organization where she pours her energy at building up the next generation of players by fostering a healthy work environment through health and wellness, from the physical to the mind to the spiritual. Her passion is so great that she's taken to lecturing and has become an industry speaker, guest, and influencer. So welcome, Nico.
Hey, Nico, how are you?
I'm tired. I was hosting an event until 4 a.m. last night or this morning, depending on how you view the day.
Yeah, and where in the world are you right now, Nico?
I'm based out of Lynchburg, Virginia.
Very nice. And what was the event?
My org hosted a Power Rangers tournament. So there's a new fighting game that got released in 2019, and the game developers are partnering with us to create the esports scene for it. So we got to host a pretty decent sized tournament with all of the top players in the world.
Extraordinary. And Nico, you were a former professional gamer yourself, is that right?
Yes, I played Overwatch for Pride Start Gaming, and I was the first female team captain in the pro scene.
Oh, congratulations. And how about Power Ranger wise? What color is your favorite Power Ranger?
Oh man, probably pink. I'm going to be basic.
All right. Well, Nico, amazing. And where do you see this mission of gaming and people headed, like ultimately?
Ideally, I want the org to obviously grow. We have a lot of top tier, like world-class talent already, just from people that I've known from working in the industry as long as I have. I want to have an org that has such a large focus on health and wellness, and I just want it to kind of take over the space, because currently esports, a lot of the people who are pouring money into it aren't exactly the most health conscious companies like a lot of fast food companies are. And instead of, being sponsored by McDonald's, I'd rather be sponsored by a protein powder, for instance.
Ecosystem emerging at its greatest for health and impact. Nico, welcome, and thank you for being here today.
Thank you.
Vivian, we got some more.
We have Brian Bradley in the house.
What's up?
Bradley's in the building. What's up, brother?
What's up, Sean? That's right, I'm here.
Amazing.
So Brian went from working for free. You're going to relate to this, Sean. Yes. Brian went from working for free for 3 years during the Great Recession to becoming the legal janitor role like the show Better Call Saul, being hired for large litigation cases, to starting his own legal practice, Bradley Legal Corp, with no budget, no marketing, no branding, 0 clients, to now collaborating with the top firms in the world, representing high risk, high net worth clients and protecting up to $5 billion in assets. His mission is to inspire people to live an extraordinary life beyond what they even envisioned for themselves. And he'd know because he's already exceeded his dreams. He's been graced as super lawyer, rising star, lawyer of distinction, top 100 in real estate, top 100 high stake litigator, just been featured in Seattle Journal of Commerce, is a frequent guest on almost all investment and cash flow shows. And of course, he's a keynote speaker and presenter at various summits like the Multifamily Global Summit. Mic drop, Brian Bradley, welcome.
Thank you, thank you.
Awesome story, brother. I'm loving this. So where did you originate this legal career from, Brian?
Yeah, so I came out of law school. I was going to law school in California and worked for 3 years interning at the DA's office, worked on really high profile cases as an intern. And then they're like, oh, hey, like, here's your hand-given job. Here's going to be the next golden boy. And then the economy just world tanked. And so I had nowhere to go, no state, agencies hiring. And so I just had to figure out, how do you get into court? And I just started knocking on the doors of all the state agencies and said, hey, I know you got no cash. You have clients that need representing. You cover the cost. I need to get into court. And like, seriously, you're going to do this for free? And I said, yeah, let's just do this. And so I ended up doing that for 3 years. Wow. And then just sort of milked into this kid knows what he's doing stage. So I started working with different firms that got stuck into cases and didn't know how to handle them or didn't have any trial experience. And that turned into $40 million cases and plus. But no one has those type of cases all the time. So I was just jumping around from firm to firm. And then once the case settled, I would get my paycheck and they would send me off. And I just, eventually got tired of that, opened up my own practice, high stake litigation, and then got tired of people having problems and coming to me when it's too late. Started collaborating with the top firms in the world that handle, high risk, clients, setting up their asset protection system. And now we're just helping them get ahead of the game so they can keep their legacy, pass it down to their kids and grandkids when they want, and not worry about losing everything off of one stupid whim.
Brian, this is an extraordinary story. How about a fun fact, by the way, as if that's not fun enough?
No, I mean, I love finance and law, but fun fact, I race in Ironmans. I just do a lot of extreme activities and sports, keep my body well tuned. And it's just something fun. I'm naturally competitive. So, give me a couple Ironman races a year and send us off to Kona and we're good to go.
This is extraordinary.
How do you even find the time? That's a commitment.
I am very well managed with my time, probably to the second.
Ooh, process mastery,
I
Sean.
systemize everything. I create processes, and most of my time I have my system so well. I'm park dad and dance dad, taking my girls to the park and to the dance, and I just have my system to where I manage it now.
Brian, this is like, I feel like in certain ways I'm hearing myself speak. This is like eerie. Bella, is this crazy?
Dude, that's what. So Craig
this is
was
crazy.
like, you have to talk to
just...
Sean. Like, you guys mirror each other, and I was like, I mean, it'll be cool to get to know this guy and talk to him. He was like, no, you guys are like the same backstory, just younger.
Yeah. It's crazy. Yeah, I mean, yeah. First of all, congratulations on leading an extraordinary life. I'm not going to belabor the group with my story right now, but it's crazy. Crazy. So lots to talk about. So welcome, Brian. So happy to have you here.
Thank you.
Oh, we got the one and only Michael Burnett in the house. Woo! Michael is the CEO of Success Resources, renowned as the industry leader in promoting global events in the world of personal and business development. For the past 3 decades, Michael built programs, products, and services and helped expand the company from the US to the far reaches of New Zealand. And up to date, Success Resources has covered over 500 events in 20 countries with attendees in the 10,000s. Tony Robbins described him as the real deal. And he'd know, for they've been friends and business partners for nearly 4 decades. Michael's mission and superpower is to find the best caliber talent or the diamond expert, speaker, and author whose message in the areas of emotional success and wealth building is timely and serves to inspire and elevate humanity. No pressure.
Michael.
Some of the famed guests to grace these global stages, though, include Sir Richard Branson, Sarah Blakely, Russell Brand, Donald Trump, Lord Alan Sugar, Robert Kiyosaki, and T. Harv Eker. Welcome, Michael Burnett.
Well, Michael, thank you for being here so much today. Really appreciate it, my friend.
You're on mute, Michael.
You're on mute.
Oh, on mute? I shouldn't be on mute.
No, you're unmuted now.
Oh, I should listen to that introduction every morning. It's a good G-up. Like, wow.
Nobody does it better than Vivian.
I was wondering who you were talking about there for a while.
Michael, wouldn't it
I need to meet this guy.
Yeah. Michael, wouldn't it be fun to have Vivian travel everywhere with us and have her introduce us to everyone?
Oh yeah, just get her to introduce me to my family. I mean, I don't think my family respects me as much as she does.
So, and Michael, where are you in the world today?
I'm at home in Sydney. Actually, I was just saying to the guys before, it's just gone 7:15 on Thursday morning, and Thursday is looking good, people. So get ready for it.
The future is bright. Tomorrow is bright.
The future's bright. Yeah, the sun did come up.
Yeah, awesome. So, Michael, if you wouldn't mind sharing a fun fact about you and your amazingness.
Well, I don't know about me. I'm not that amazing to have any fun facts about, but just here's an interesting thing that people maybe don't know about Australia, because people quite often think that Australia is all about sun and beaches.
And
Sean,
coffee,
you were talking about Melbourne coffee.
And the big theater and Naomi Watts and Nicole Kidman.
There's a few things. But you were talking about skiing, and a fun fact is that the Australian Alps get more snow than the Swiss Alps.
Really?
So,
Wow.
there you go.
Wow. We have to get to Australia, team. And get some.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
That is.
So you missed out. Did you ski in Australia, Sean?
No, we did not. We had the whole mapping set, and we ended up aborting the mission. So now we have to certainly get to the Australian Alps. That's incredible.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. And are you a skier, Michael?
No, I'm not. I was actually born. I spent most of my life on the West Coast, which is the West Coast of Australia is a bit like Southern California.
Yes, absolutely. So do you happen to like ride on the backs of great white sharks? I heard that everybody from Australia is like friends with and encounters great white sharks. It's kind of like a daily habitual pattern. Is that true?
No, but I think we have like something like 8 of the deadliest animals. 8 of the 10 deadliest animals live in Australia. So I think we have the deadliest spiders, the deadliest snakes, and we have more shark attacks than anywhere.
Yeah, my daughter's
You're just talking me out of going to Australia. Those are none of the things that spiders. I don't know about all this. It was on the top of my list of places to go, and it just fell down a couple notches.
I'm going to join with Brian. Brian, you and I will take on Australia with Michael, and we'll find all the deadliest creatures. We'll ski the Alps, hang out the Great Whites. I think we'll have a lot.
Yeah, we're going there. I actually lived in Australia for a little bit, and so it's a great place to go.
Amazing.
We'll go to the opera. We'll cheer you guys on. I'll video the whole thing. We'll laugh and crack up and cheer.
So, Michael, quick fun fact. So we did an Unblinded event in Long Beach Island, New Jersey, which happens to be the site of the inspiration for Jaws, the attack that inspired the book Jaws by Peter Benchley. And I have homes down there. And so we're at midnight playing Jaws music, blaring on the beach, and nobody is on the island because once the fall comes in New Jersey, nobody goes to the beaches anymore. So we're all down there with 60 of the Unblinded Elite members, and we went into the ocean at midnight in like offshore, sort of like tropical storm. I don't want to say pre-hurricane, but tropical storm conditions. And 7-foot waves, for those that don't know, 7-foot waves are extraordinary. I mean, when you're a normal day at the beach, you think a wave is a decent size, it's a 3-foot wave because it's measured from like the surface of the water up. 7-foot waves crashing, total insanity. And our next fine introduction was like jumping into the water headlong at midnight with people, bodies flying everywhere. And I'm like, Tony gets away with UPW and somebody burns their foot. We're going to have people washed away into the ocean and disappear. And we're going to have a big problem. So thank God that did not happen. But perhaps, Michael, we could bring this event to Australia someday and have some fun with the great whites.
You're on mute again.
Australia is a great marketplace for personal development and learning. I think that it's culturally, because we're so far away from everything, I think people do tend to want to reach out a little bit more. Another fact is like Australians travel more internationally than almost any other culture in the world. And it's basically one of the reasons is that we're so far away from everything.
Very true. Well, I see like all sorts of fun things happening in the future. Trips to Australia are certainly there. And thank you, Michael, for the idea of skiing in Australia. I had no idea it gets that much.
Yeah.
So thank you. And welcome today. Appreciate you being here.
Thank you. Oh, thank you.
So Vivian, we got the sales sorceress.
Yes, we do. We have Bella Verita in the house. That's what I'm talking about. When she was just about 7 years old, this cute little Bella of truth would sell beautiful crafts on her front lawn because inside was this little powerhouse sales sorceress coming through. And she built a 7-figure multiple real estate company, becoming the #1 business broker in the state of Nevada, people. She places more women salespeople than anyone else in the country at Align Sales, where she happens to be CEO. So welcome, Bella.
Why, thank you. I love how you like switched up the introduction today. That was super fun.
Appreciate it. So Bella, you had the budding sales sorceress coming out of your young girlhood, and were you a nice girl? Were you like a good girl as a child, Bella, or no?
Was I a good girl? Well, I don't know. Do you consider a drug dealer a good girl?
I don't know that. Casting judgment on anybody, but was that like present?
That was definitely present. I was definitely, I was the most preppy. Well, I was probably the nicest of drug dealers there were, but I still sold drugs.
What kind of
drugs? I was
drugs?
very nice when I did it. What's that?
What kind of drugs?
The only one that is legal now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So amazing. And Bella, you have an amazing story. So you just want to share what caused you. And now on the flip side of this conversation, I literally have never smoked marijuana or anything in my life. I'm not, no judgment whatsoever. So this is always
Not yet anyway.
Bella is convinced that at some point plant medicine may come into my life, but I am convinced that is not going to. So she's trying to go from hello to yes. But Bella,
I'm really good at hello to yes with Sean. So I am. I win a lot. I win a lot of yeses. So we'll see.
That is very true. So what caused you to sort of transition out of this dynamic? It's an amazing story.
Yeah. So I was still a senior in high school. So I had dropped out my junior year, and then I went back my senior year, and I was living on my own. I had my own apartment because, you know, drug dealing is a pretty good lucrative career, especially in high school. And so I was living in my own apartment when I received a knock at the door. And when I answered the door, I was staring down the barrel of a shotgun. And that was the moment that I knew my life had to change. And so I like called the cops, ended up going back to my dad's house. And the only thing that I ever remember growing up is my grandfather always telling my dad, like, you know, Bob, yeah, like, got to get into sales. You got to do sales. You got to do sales. Like always, I just remember these spaghetti dinners and my grandfather always talking about sales because my grandfather was Jewish and a door-to-door salesman. So he made a lot of money and he saved a lot of money. And he was always just telling my dad, like, you gotta do sales, you gotta do sales. And so that was like the only thing that popped into my head that like, I should do that. And like my grandfather was one of the funniest, most influential men that I knew. Like everybody loved him. And so I decided to join my first network marketing company. And that's when I became a top income earner in that company. And then later on went into commercial real estate.
Amazing. So Bella, thank you for being here today. And aside from the fact of your drug dealing background, do you have another fun fact?
I do. I actually have two fun facts today. So one of my fun facts is I just innovated about a half an hour ago how to add an extra $50,000 in revenue by the end of for Unblinded by the end of the month. So that's pretty fun.
That's fun.
And I'm pretty sure that's going to cause Sean to call me right after the Real Raw because he's going to want to know what the heck is going on. And then number two is my good friend. Do you know who Oren Claff is?
I don't know that I do.
So he wrote the book Pitch Anything, and
I do. Yes.
Yeah, and he handles like a lot of big M&As with like Google and like Amazon and like Whole Foods and like Hilton and Lamborghini. And so I talked to him today, and he's gonna come on the Real Raw next week.
That's fun.
That's gonna be super fun. And he's a super, super funny guy. So it's gonna be quite a comical. And he has just purchased like 13 new cars during COVID and like ice skating rinks and like go-karts for his kid. So he's pretty entertaining.
That is very fun. And he's like stands for his special abilities and influence in the world.
Yep.
Correct?
Yeah, he would be a really good person to, he would probably definitely take you up on your $250,000 bet, which would be super fun. And he would do it like in total fun.
Well, let's throw down for the, I'll put up, if I win, it goes, his 250 goes to the American Foundation for the Blind. And if he wins, it goes wherever he likes. So that would be a very fun and entertaining dynamic, but I think we need a little bit more promotional energy around it, and then we'll go.
Yep.
That's fine. Awesome. So yes, that's what we're doing here, because influence is in fact Bella Verita. Vivian, thank you for being here. A superpower. 23 years ago, when I graduated law school, $100,000 in debt, having no idea that influence actually mattered in the world. In the process of going blind, I discovered the amazing work of Tony Robbins. When I was ready to quit, become a high school football coach and baseball coach as an athlete growing up, my vision cost me my baseball career, having graduated from Columbia University, where I was baseball captain. And I said, you know what? I'm going to find out if this Tony Robbins guy, who told me to also read the work of Jay Abraham, actually works. And lo and behold, it did. My life completely changed. I quit my job 6 months out of law school. Similar to Brian, I decided to build my own law firm. But 6 months out, everybody said it was completely crazy. In fact, they offered me psychological counseling when I was quitting. It actually happened. Yes, built a 40-person law firm in 2 years, exited 2 years later. And I realized, this stuff works. Went on to start building my own law firm. Building my own training development company. I realized that all of these people graduate from coaching school and they could never actually generate any clients. Wonderful, heart-centered people, all interested in making the world a greater place. So I started training coaches and how to build coaching businesses after building the most successful and rapid one at my own coaching school. Then I realized, as Brian also mentioned, that, I wanted a life. So I spent the next decade creating a second law firm, took it from 0 to 100 people within 2 years, attended every one of my kids' games, my son and 2 daughters, except for 9, literally counted them over the more than 1,000 sporting events, because as I was studying the amazing work of Tony Robbins throughout my life, Tony always said, you want to be a business owner, not operator, and have an amazing life. And I did. And now I decided to take this mission to the world, since my kids have aged me out of my favorite job, which is like coaching their teams, going skiing with them, scuba diving with sharks, all the fun stuff. And now I have nothing else to do but speak on stages around the world, meet incredible people like yourself, and unlock the superpower of influence to end suffering in a capitalist structure. But by the way, this is not Boiler Room meets Wolf of Wall Street. Au contraire, there's no pitching, no hooking, no closing. It's heart-centered, integrous influence amongst people, which PS beats pitching, hooking, closing every single time. Vivian, I love you. Did a remarkable job today. As always, thank you. Mwah. We love you.
Have fun.
Thank you. Bella Verita, who's going first? Oh, Bella.
I'm ready for Dr. Siegel today.
Let's do it.
Let's do it, my friends.
All right. Who's Bella going to be? Hello to yes. You have 6 minutes total, 3-minute interruption halfway through. Our amazing judges were assessing how much does Dr. Josh open up Bella's listening, where there's a heart-to-heart connection, something put at stake, because nothing gets through if listening is not opened. So that's the first half. The second half we'll talk about later. We're not looking for a yes. We're not looking for Dr. Josh to present his amazingness. It's at the end of this, really, how congruently unique is Dr. Josh? So Bella is curious about what comes next. That's the game. And Dr. Josh, Bella will be herself, any avatar you want, ideal client perhaps or otherwise, or she'll be any specific person you want. So who would you like Bella to be?
An ideal client.
Awesome. So Bella, you're an ideal client. I'm presuming perhaps there's a little bit of pain, Dr. Josh, or just general wellness.
Most people in the beginning come in with some sort of pain.
All right, Bella, you got some pain. Are you ready?
I do.
All right. So Dr. Josh.
Can my pain be Sean Callaghy? Can you fix? Can you fix that?
It could be whatever you want it to be.
That's
Okay.
fine. We can go there. So Bella, yes, and Dr. Josh, this over the phone, or Bella came into the office?
Face to face.
Face to face. Bella, take us in.
Hi, Dr. Josh.
Hey, Bella, so nice to meet you. What do you do for work?
I have a sales agency. So I help place female sales professionals with impact-driven entrepreneurs.
Awesome. How long you been doing that for?
I've been doing that for like 3 years, but I've had my own company for a year.
Cool. I love the drive. So what brings you in here today?
Yeah, I have a pain in my rear.
Okay. How long has that been going on for?
About, I think since like October. So about like 4 months.
All right. So that's been a long time. Any other areas of the spine you got pain in?
In my neck.
So rear, in your neck. Okay. Yep. Any other areas?
Nope. Just those two.
Okay. What about anything off the spine? Headaches, focus.
I mean, I have like a monthly headache, but I don't know if you can do anything about that.
What's their name? No, I'm just kidding. So let's get back to the pain in the rear. How is that affecting your life right now?
Oh my goodness. I would say it, it's a mild discomfort, something I have to figure out, work around. If I sit too long, it starts to hurt. And if I, sometimes when I run, it starts to hurt, but like, so, sometimes it can keep me from, doing like, there's this activities that I love doing, like, 3 to 4 times a day. And like, it keeps me from those exercises.
So this pain is affecting different parts of your life, from your work, from your activities of fun and you're working out. So it's hitting different areas of your life, and we want to get rid of this, right?
Yeah, yeah. Because for me, like, my exercise and stuff like comes intermittent in between like calls and things. And so, like, I'll do like some squats or I'll do some things and sometimes it'll keep me from doing those things.
Okay, now let's move to the neck pain. How long has that been going on for?
Yeah, I would say about the same. I went to this event. I think it was around September, and like that's when everything like started flaring up.
Okay.
So
would you
also
say
around 4 months?
So flaring up around 4 months, I hear you. Okay. And so do you sit at a computer?
And then too, I gotta run right now, but the other thing that you should know is like I travel a lot. And so depending on like the pillows I sleep on, because I used to have a really great pillow, but someone lost it on one of my trips. And so I don't have that pillow anymore. So that's another thing, but I gotta run right now and I'll call you back in just a couple minutes.
All right, you got it.
Yep.
All right. So Dr. Josh, feel free.
What's that?
I said, how did that feel for you, Dr. Josh?
Some part felt really engaged, and some part I felt like, I needed to kind of detour and reconnect.
Yeah. Well, you got round 2 coming up.
Yep.
And so Bella, are you ready?
Yes. Yes. I'm ready.
Okay. How was that for you?
No, it was great. And I was having a little bit of fun, and those are like 2 areas that do really bother me.
Yes. And that was outstanding. All right. Who's up, Bella?
We have Patrick.
Well, yes. Patrick, are you ready, my friend?
As ready as I'll ever be.
Who would you like Bella to be?
I just want Bella to be herself.
Okay. Patrick, yeah. What
do I need to know about being myself? Like,
what do you need to know about being yourself? You're an entrepreneur, single member LLC, potentially, under probably right around 400K in annual revenue, couple employees, and you paid over $26,000 in taxes last year, and you feel some sort of way about that.
All right.
Patrick, take us in. Is this phone call or in person?
This is probably a Zoom meeting.
All right,
Son of a gun.
Son of a gun. Patrick, take us in, my friend.
Hi, Bella. It's nice to meet you. Thanks for taking the time out of your day.
Yeah, thank you so much for calling.
So tell me a little bit about your business. What do you got going on?
Yeah, I have a sales agency. And so I primarily place female sales professionals with impact-driven entrepreneurs. And
Nice.
I work with like product and service-based companies. Our niche market is like companies doing between 1 and 5 million that are ready to scale their sales. They're ready to bring on maybe their first or second sales hire. And we have a track record of going in and being able to double sales records and increase subscriptions.
That's awesome. How long have you been at it?
I've been doing it for 3 years. I've had my own company for a year.
Nice. Congratulations.
Yep.
It's always a exciting endeavor to step out on your own.
Yep.
So what did you guys do last year in revenue?
We did about 400,000.
Nice.
Yep.
That's awesome. Any employees or?
Yeah, I have a fantastic team. So I have like tech team. I have an EA, and I have like a head of operations. I've got a head of content. Yep. So I've got 4 or 5 team members.
Well, at least they're wearing those hats and you don't have to, right?
Yes, I would not be able to do this without them. And my CPA, when we were doing our books at the end of the year, she said, she like paid me a compliment, and she said that, my investments were really good for our first year in business because I invested in people. And I thought that was really amazing.
Well, have you been investing in yourself at all? I mean, it is your business.
Oh yeah. I have no problems investing in myself, my friend.
Good.
They're always wise
investments.
I did this investment with Unblinded. That was a wise investment. I've made some not so wise investments, but overall, my best investment is definitely in Bella Verita.
Always. So I wanted to just touch base with you and see if there was any way we could save you some money in taxes. If we can schedule a call later on this week when you've got some extra time, we can maybe schedule an hour to go over things. We cover about 7 major points in your business, and if there's any potential for savings there, we'd love to increase your bottom line.
Yeah, I mean, I have someone that works on my taxes already, so I'd like to find out a little bit more about you and like why I would want to have a meeting with you over them. But I have a call I need to take right now, so maybe I could call you back in a few minutes. I'd like to learn just a little bit more about you before I commit to an appointment.
Sure, absolutely.
Okay, I will call you back.
Patrick, excellent work, my friend. How was that round for you?
It was fine. I always forget the details. Like, usually people don't not know who I am when I get on the phone. So
Gotcha.
All good. So we'll drop in a little bit on a couple things. Bella, how was that first round for you with Dr. Josh and Patrick?
Beautiful, fun.
Nice. Okay, so let's hit the judges. Judges, we're gonna go 30 seconds of feedback for each of these fine folks, Dr. Josh and for Patrick. And we'll go 15 seconds or so on what worked, a few bullets, and then 15 seconds or so on what can be optimized. And we'll also give a rating on a scale of 1 to 10, where they are in that superpower mastery level of influence. So maybe let's start with, I don't know, Bella, what do you think? Which judge should we start with?
Well, I'll say we'll start with Brian, and then just your cue when you are out of time is, I will say your score is, and that will be your cue that we are keeping on time integrity.
Yes.
So Brian, let's start with you.
Yeah, cool. So I'm gonna just go into Josh here, man. Like I give you like overall like a 7.8. Like you're really personable, it's easy to relate to, and they're coming to you with a pain. Like my 3 main points that I would say is like relate more personally. Like what kind of activities do you do? Like what's it hindering you? Because then you're understanding their problem a little bit more and where it's affecting their life. And then you can come back in with, like testing a close. You're like, oh, I understand. I appreciate that. Oh, I respect where you're coming from with that. How does that make you feel? Then start stacking that fear and that loss and that anxiety.
Is?
And then your logic and the solution that you're going to be able to come in to fix it. And then with Patrick, I'm going to be like, mindset. You really need to, like do something to get your mind into you're really personable. I like hearing what you said, but then you drifted a lot. And so you need to be able to be like, boom, before you make a call or talk to someone, know your client, know yourself. So you're not drifting. And then once you're like an actor or something like that, and you're in your zone and you know yourself, you know your client, you can lead them to the questions that you want. And then the same kind of principles, I would say, like test the close and use like, qualify them a little bit faster. You didn't talk to her at all about what her concerns were or her emotional drive at all. And so you're not going to be able to stack any of that to then your solution you're going to offer with her. And you did the whole call without really knowing much about her personally and what she's trying to get to.
And your score is?
And my score for you right now would be like 6.5.
Thank you, Brian. Nico, what do you have let's start with Dr. Josh.
Okay, Dr. Josh, you're very clinical. Go figure, you are a doctor. I think you had a little bit of a trouble getting to your point at the end of the day. You did a really good job at getting her to give you like the type of pain that she's experiencing and stuff, which I mean, you need to do because of your job. I think that like you could have been a little bit more personable, like think maybe more like DO instead of doctor, maybe.
And your score is?
I'd give you a 7.5.
And what'd you have for Patrick?
Patrick, you did a really good job at keeping her on track, I think. It's really funny because I think basically a lot of the same things that Brian did, so I'm basically echoing him. You didn't really like introduce yourself very much at all. I have the same issue. Like I assume that people already know what I do in my own space, but when reaching out to new clients, it's always good to like do a short little introduction and everything, kind of break the ice a little bit in that regard. So maybe do that more in the future. But otherwise, I think it was a pretty good call. You got her to call you back and everything, which is always a good thing.
Very nice. Excellent job, Mika. Michael, Again, thanks so much for being here. And from a man that has seen like everybody on stages all former presidents, Tony Robbins, and just the entire crew. So what say you, sir, for Dr. Josh?
Well, I think in the limited time that he had, and I don't know what the normal consult time would be or the parameters around the consult, because this is a little bit of an artificial sort of put together. Maybe just relating the pain to something, and the causes and how the pain comes about, and then also, what are the benefits, the pros and cons, because if the pain is worth putting up with, you're not going to come up with a great solution. So, like, I think getting the client to sort of acknowledge the pain a little bit more and the constrictions around the pain. I think Bella sort of like leaned into that a little bit, maybe sort of like I'd pick that up a little bit more.
And your score is?
Yeah, I would say 7.5. And again, I think the guys were constricted to time and the construct of the process, but 7.5 definitely.
And for Patrick, Michael.
Similarly, I don't know that the setup was the way maybe Patrick would normally do a setup. He sort of alerted to the fact that people tend to know him before he calls, and that may be in the setup of an appointment when he's doing a Zoom meeting. And the way this one played out, that wasn't the case. So again, the parameters are slightly different to maybe where he normally plays. But one of the voids, I suppose, in the conversation was, and Bella brought it up in the end, is that why was he talking to her at all? It's like, did she have a problem? There was, again, and you're constricted to time. I don't know what it was, 2 or 3 minutes. So it's hard to get a lot across in that period of time. But, I think you need to get to, why am I looking for the service, or why are you offering me the service? What's the benefit? And I mean, it got to right at the very end. I'd say similarly 7.5. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much, Michael. So Bella, are you ready for round 2?
I am ready. Let's do this.
Reverse sequencing. Patrick, Bella is back. Please continue. You got 3 more minutes, brother.
All right.
Hey, Patrick, I'm back. I have a few more minutes here.
Hi, Bella. Thanks for getting back to me. I appreciate it. So, what did your CPA do for you last year as far as planning and how much they were planning to save you in taxes and overall planning for your business for the next couple of years?
I actually don't do much planning that way with my CPA. I have a bookkeeper that I work with that we do setting goals and stuff. And then usually I just turn over, the P&Ls and balance sheets from the year to my CPA, and she just files my taxes. I don't know that I've actually ever sat down with my CPA and done goals and stuff. So that's interesting to me.
Well, that's one of the main issues that I hear from a lot of my clients, before they became my clients in the industry, is that most CPAs and accountants are compliance based, right? You hand them the information, they fill out your forms, and that's it. You talk to them maybe once a year, less if you can help it.
Yeah.
And that's really not what I believe the industry should be, right? We should be a consultative asset to our clients. So one of the main things that we do is tax planning with our clients. And on average, we save anywhere from about $17,000 to about $30,000 for our clients in an annual tax season. So, it's you've just completed your first year in business, which is great. So I'm getting you at the beginning of your journey rather than somebody who's been in business for 15 or 20 years and has been overpaying taxes, way too long.
Yeah, no, thank you. I appreciate that. I'd never even really, considered that.
So, what with that in mind, what are some areas of concern you have where do you think you're overpaying in taxes?
I feel I don't feel like I am. It feels pretty spot on, but I'm always interested in getting a second opinion.
Well, if you'd be interested, I'd like to set a time up with you where we can go over. It'll probably be about an hour and a half to do a deep dive into your business and, go over some financials and some tax information with you and see if it may make sense for us to partner together in any way. Would you be open to that later on this week or next week?
I definitely would. Thank you.
All right. I'll shoot you over an email and we'll schedule a time.
All right. Sounds great. Thank you so much, Patrick.
Nice work, Patrick. Excellent.
Thank you, Bella.
Dr. Josh, Bella's back. Please take us in.
All right, Bella, so you gave me a lot of great information. I know your body's suffering with a lot of pain. And, one of the things that I went through years ago, I was bedridden for 3 months with severe rheumatoid, and it really took me off and wanted me to make some changes. So this pain is like a warning sign. And one of the things we want to look at is how well your body's adapting to stress. And so most chiropractors are focused on this pain, that pain, and once the pain's gone, that's really it. Our job is to really retrain your neurology to make sure your body's being at its best version. So you can have, all those activities you want to do, improve your work life, have more energy, and really get your body really going to the way you deserve to have it. And so we're going to do an evaluation to see where those interferences are and how we can kind of see to clear you out, to make your body really adaptable to stress. And that's one constant you're going to have in your life. And so I really look forward to helping you get rid of this pain so you could be more fun, more energy, more lively. And, I know you said you'd love to travel with that pillow. And the goal is we want you to really get your quality of life better from the inside out. So that's what we're really talking about. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah. So what I'm hearing you say is there's a way for me to travel without a pillow and be pain-free.
Yeah,
Is that
fuck
what I'm
the
hearing?
pillow. Yeah, fuck the pillow. We can really get you healthy and traveling and just you doing you, as we say here. And that's what I'm looking to move you towards.
I love that. Yeah. Because
Awesome.
my travel companion is quite chaotic and seems to lose my shit all the time. So the less stuff I have, the better.
Let's get rid of the baggage. It's time to clear you out from the inside out.
Let's definitely do that. I am in.
All right, face down.
Amazing.
That is the first time I've been asked to go face down on the Real Raw.
That is utterly amazing. So we have George, the cursing attorney, and now we have Dr. Josh, the cursing chiropractor. Love you, brother. Does a fantastic job.
He kind of even looks like George, the cursing attorney, a little bit.
Yeah, that's a real thing. We have George, the cursing attorney. That's his Instagram handle. He's amazing. Super successful.
I love it.
Yeah.
Now, so just quick question, because I don't know, because you kept saying this weekend. So I'm assuming something happened this weekend, and I'm assuming that happened with Dr. Roger. So you might be friends with Dr. Roger?
Dr. Roger was my roommate in school. So we were brothers from another mother.
Ah, that's fantastic. I love Dr. Roger. He is one of my favorite human beings ever. And that event that I told you about that happened in September when all of this pain happened, Dr. Roger was there. Or when all this pain started, Dr. Roger was there. And he was one of my favorite people from that event. So that is awesome that you know Dr. Roger.
Dr. Rogers extraordinary is in our elite program, and Bella is busting my chops left and right because I am a travel companion that lost in an airport. She asked me to hold that pillow, and I did not bring it through security. So I apologize, Bella, for all of your pain and for bringing you to the ocean at midnight. So thank you very much for
pain in my butt, pain in my neck. All comes from Sean Gallagher.
Yes, I am present to it. So how was that round for you?
That was super fun. And I like that we got to still have fun, because I would probably be that way in a doctor's office too. And so I'm glad it felt good that it was still fun. You matched my energy. And got me to see, how I could actually get rid of the pain in a fun way, really, truly, because me traveling without a pillow and not having neck pain would be absolutely phenomenal. And it was delivered to me in a fun way that I'd be like, okay, let's do this.
Awesome. So real quick, Dr. Josh, awesome. Patrick, can we step into something for a moment?
Depends on how deep you want to go.
I like to go super deep, Patrick. So, all right. So, Patrick, yes, this round, would you permit me to be you?
Go for it.
And would you mind being Bella?
That's deep. That's some shoes to fill right there.
That is some shoes to fill. But can we play that game?
Sure.
Okay, awesome. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to press 6 minutes into 3. So I'll have heard a few facts from Bella already, and we'll take it from there. Does that sound good? Patrick, from now on, when I say Bella for these next 3 minutes, it'll be you. Okay?
All right. Are we going back in time, redoing any of the sessions, or
No,
did you just say that? Sorry.
Yeah, you're Bella, and we're taking it from just like picking it up midstream. Okay.
All right.
All right. So Bella, thank you so much again for chatting, and your story is extraordinary. How is it that you go from this wild upbringing, salesperson as a kid, drug dealerness, to now that being this inspirational person in the space of selling and placing women? I get the story about the shotgun. I'm present to it, but what's the why underneath it? Why are you creating these things in the world, and where's this all headed?
Well, that's a really good question. The why is there's always a better path.
And what's that path though? Like, so your fun energy is present, like you're hysterical, one of the most talented, disruptive people I've ever met. So it's clear why people are so drawn to you. But what's the mission? Like, there's a path, there's a road. What are you standing for? I'm hearing women, I'm hearing heart-centeredness, but what's the ultimate vision for you, Bella?
I don't know. I don't know how to answer that, Sean.
Yeah. So you know what? In the final minute we have, so thank you for that. And by the way, my name is Patrick. So thank you.
Patrick, my apologies, Patrick.
So, Bella, I am hearing vision now, and I'm hearing a lot of ability and talent. So it'd be okay to share just for a moment what I'm up to in the world.
Yeah, absolutely. Please do.
Yeah. So again, I'm a CPA, and that is like snooze city on the one hand, but it's really not. Because in the space of creating impact and change in the world, all the names you think about of massive influence, what's incredibly interesting is you have people like Mike Tyson to Bruce Springsteen. And you want to know, Bella, the biggest difference between Mike Tyson and Bruce Springsteen?
What is it?
Yeah. That they approach their money, their business differently. So Mike Tyson struggles and he's massively in pain. Bruce Springsteen protected his rights enormously. And early on in his career, he had something happen to him where he lost a lot of his intellectual property rights. He fought to regain them. And what he did from there, in his heart-centeredness, his love, his fun, his magic, his impact in the world, he created a platform that feeds tens of thousands of people. He creates massive levels of impact, similar to a guy like Tony Robbins or Oprah Winfrey. And all these people did differently is they had the right team of people around them. And by the way, they stood in the space of their own money and their own acceleration. So in our final 30 seconds here, what I do is I not only sit down with you and communicate about taxes, I communicate with you about the heart-centered, intellectual, because it's both, strategy of approaching money. So as you're rising and as you're working and as you're laughing and having fun and going on all the magical places, having the things you want, you're making decisions, you're at cause over your life and over your impact. And that's my job. And we save you money and taxes too. But we sit down and create a philosophy and partner around your money, your impact. So I know you work with somebody already. I heard that. I honor that. All I'd love to do is to sit down and see what you think of that conversation with me. And regardless in the hour we'll spend, we will find you levers that will create some more intentionality around your money and actually practically save you money now. So how would that sound for you, Bella? How does that resonate to spend an hour together taking a look about your psychology around money and the practical applications of your money and taxes? What do you think?
Sounds great, Patrick.
All right. So out of roll, Patrick, what was there for you? How did that feel?
Good. Yeah.
What are you thinking? What are you feeling?
Well, so what I'm thinking, what I'm feeling is that it's very, I've never been an improv guy, right?
Yeah.
So improv is very difficult for me to do. So it's hard to capture the, interaction, especially in I usually have more than 3 minutes, So, right. And when they get to me, it's because they've already made their pain points known. Right. So it's a little bit easier to get to that and get on to the actual meat and potatoes and be able to build rapport. So, but I loved the way that you presented that and the phrasing that you did. You know, I loved it a lot.
Listen, you did a fantastic job, and all we're standing for in that space is this reality that the same way that you can dissect a tax return, a business, or somebody's psychology around money, our influence is in fact a superpower that is equally dissectable. Challenge is we don't learn how to do it anywhere. And that's the space that we're here. We're here about like sales conversations, pitch hook close, but there's a depth of distinction. I'll just drop on this final. In some of our, I have the privilege I shared of having two, well, I don't think I shared this, of being only one of two attorneys in America to have two top 100 national jury verdicts between 2014 and 16, the only one in America that was blind. In both of those cases, we were told they were unwinnable. And we sat and we went through micro distinction after micro distinction, jury verdict analysis after jury verdict analysis. And here's the fun part, punchline. One of the companies we engaged charged $250,000. They had 3 psychologists on staff. And literally the level that they were going into in the analysis was at such a wildly surface level that they told us we had no chance to win the case. And in fact, we'd be lucky to get $1 million. And with innovation after innovation after innovation, we took in the mock trial rounds it from 1 million to 4 million to 10 million to 20 million. We got $27 million of trial for our client, all because of micro distinctions and the power of influence. And now we're not talking about that level of micro distinction analysis for everybody and everything you do, but you are a numbers guy, Patrick. And the compounding impact in every encounter we have, our teams have, our staff have on that superpower of influence, that compounds wildly over time. Final. People, all influence is not created equal, obviously. I hired somebody a long time ago in a runoff of people to engage in a hiring process for contingent fee appointment booking position. 4 people. First 3 people booked 0, 0, and 0 appointments in 2 weeks. This 4th person booked 30 meetings. The first 3 people said, oh, it's the leads, it's the situation, it's this, the whole thing. And the 4th person worked half of the hours of the other 3 and booked 30 meetings. The point, the differences in influence are not linear. They're not exponential because there's no number you can multiply times 0 to get to 30. They're in fact often infinite. And we're present to that reality and we bring it forward, incredible things change. So thank you for that time, Patrick, and for jumping in. And you are obviously awesome at what you do. And I appreciate the few minutes. Thank you.
Thanks, Sean.
Yeah. So, hey, let's drop in. Nico, what feedback do you have in this round for Dr. Josh?
I like that you did practical application of the advice that we gave you. It was nice. It went a lot better. You were a lot more personable. You had a lot more energy, and it was just a much better experience, I think, for both parties involved and everything. And I think it was really good.
Thank you.
Really, really good.
And your score?
I'd say a 9.
And for Patrick?
Yeah. You have a very well developed routine, I think, in your conversation. It seems like you did the same routine that you would do with like most of your other clientele. Something that I've had to learn through trial and error is look at it like how you're sending a resume to a company, right? Like you want to tailor it towards that specific company that you're applying for a job for. Like at the end of the day, like you're trying to get her to be a client and like work with you, right? You need to have like specific stuff, like maybe look into her, like Google her. She also asked you at the end of the conversation prior that she wanted to learn more about you. She didn't say more about your business. She said you. And you didn't give her any information about yourself. You didn't even reintroduce your name that I noticed.
And your score is?
I would say an 8. There were improvements.
Nice.
Excellent. Hey, by the way, Bella, how did you think Patrick did at being you?
He did a fairly good job. I was impressed. For knowing me for a few moments, I would give him an A for effort.
Yes, excellent. And how did that role as Patrick, how did that feel for you when we stepped in?
Are you talking? I don't understand.
Yeah, how did the role play as Patrick? How did that show up for you?
When I was me and he was the second time around?
No, when I was being Patrick.
Amazing. So you're asking me how would I have felt if you were talking that way to me?
Yes.
Oh, I definitely heard, felt, seen, understood.
Excellent.
Yes.
So Brian, what do you have, my friend?
So for Josh, man, I think you know, like, again, like practically, you hit what we did and you delivered on that. I would just say add more like, does that sound something like you're kind of interested in? Like, start testing the close, in your talk there a little bit more. Like, you following me, you understand. So if we can address all of those type of things right there, like, you ready to go face down. Like, I like your personality and how relatable you are. So I think like 9.3. Like, you kind of took everything, adjusted it, tweaked it, and I would just say like test the close a little bit more.
Excellent.
And then for Patrick, like, is the same thing. Like, you talked a lot more, and I would talk less and ask more questions to get more understanding. And one thing I would say is, like, in your initial inquiry, like, build in like second question, like, hey, just how did you get how did you hear about me? Was it from my book or something that I wrote? Or like then it's automatically built in, like, hey, what's your name? What did you hear? How'd you hear about me? Now you're building something in. Now you don't, like, guessing's out of it. And then the next part is, you have ideas, what your basic client looks like, work off of those. Even if you don't know what their issues are, you need to build some of that into there.
And your score is?
So my score for you would be like 7.6.
Nice. And Brian, thanks for the depth of your feedback, like your energy and depth of thinking around all of it was present. How was today on the Real Raw for you?
I didn't hear that last part. What was that?
I was saying, how was today on the Real Raw for you?
Oh, it was great. Like, I like getting to know everybody. It's great information, and everything that we can pass along that people can take, myself included, is always great.
Awesome. Well, thank you for that. And Michael, what'd you have, please, Dr. Josh?
Yeah, I think you're taking for granted, from what very little I know of Doctor, is, he's got a great practice. He's obviously, successful, experienced, those sorts of things. And again, in the construct, if he had a client coming to him with a problem, back, neck, butt pain, you've basically already got a client. So, I don't know that you would need to do any more than what he did to get the client to go face down. And I think he did everything he needed to do. So, it's an interesting process. He got the appointment. So what more can you do? If that's not a 10 out of 10, I mean, what was the ultimate goal? To get an appointment. He did that, so he won.
Excellent. Thank you, Michael. And what'd you have for Patrick?
Similar with Patrick, I don't know what prep work, he was given to Patrick before this call and what he was, given, but I would believe that in his normal practice, he would know a little bit more about the client before the call. The client would know a little bit more about him and his firm before the call. So that foundation would be preset. He got the interest in so much as, Bella was interested in saving money on her taxes. I'd sell the long-term benefit of the financial gain that she would get, and sort of like I'd hype that up a little bit more, given that that's the end benefit.
And your score is?
Well, again, you got an appointment. What else can you do? It's like, there's not much more he could do than get an appointment. So again, 10 out of 10.
All right. Excellent, Michael. And Michael, thank you so much for being here today. And how was your day with us today?
Always a pleasure to meet good people, Sean. You can never meet enough good people.
Amen to that. Well, thank you. Thank you for that, Michael. And you are good people. causing immense impact in the world. So thank you for that.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Patrick, how was today for you?
It was good. I had about 15 minutes to prep for this role, so that was kind of threw me off my game. I wasn't anticipating it. So, but I learned some valuable things, got presented some brand new ideas, and perspective and a shift in perspective is always welcome and needed.
Yeah, that's awesome. And just a thought, right? Just a thought, an offer is when we have a foundational construct that everything in the communication is simply about like the other person, and there's a mechanism and a model for that, it all just becomes easy every time to just fluidly step into every situation. You're obviously amazing, unquestionably. In every encounter, every person, my hallucination is, Patrick, would benefit massively from sitting down with you and your work, from the impacts you have, the people you put together. Like, for example, folks are going to be applying for money right now today. I would imagine that's something you're heavily involved in with PPP. There?
Yep.
Yeah. And so I guess I'm asking you this. Do you think that people would be benefiting? But is there anybody you think wouldn't benefit from a review of their tax or financial situation with you?
No, I think everybody can benefit. Even well, like this was a benefit for me in reviewing my process in shortening my time getting appointments with clients, right? So everybody can benefit in a review of, okay, am I, spot check my financial and business situation? Absolutely. Am I looking good? Am I on track, or am I not?
Awesome. So wish you all the best, and thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you.
Dr. Josh, how was today for you, brother?
Like Michael said, I love connecting with heart-centered, mission-based people. I got a lot of good feedback, especially what Brian said. It definitely resonated, and always looking to grow. So thank you.
All right. Awesome job, Dr. Josh. Belverita, final.
Final is, if you want to know more about like the unblinded formula, this magic trick that Sean just dropped here just a few minutes ago with Patrick, and how maybe you could go from like 6 sales meetings a month to maybe 600 sales meetings a month. I don't know if that would be advantageous for anyone here, but it's a thing. And it is, what is the formula? What is Unblinded Monday nights? And if you'd like to have one, there's no obligation, but if you'd like to have a strategy call with one of our partners and hear more about what the formula is and how it could impact your business, then someone will reach out to you and you can chat with one of our strategists.
Yes. Bella, you are definitely not a pain in the neck or a pain in the butt, but I'm glad you think that I am. Fantastic job today. And we are all blind.
And just learning to see.
All right. Thank you all.